Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Surprise? Today we will bring you 3 different stories. Each story will talk about problems in relationships and clearly show many of OP's frustrations. We were also angry and sympathize with them, and there will be many interesting things waiting for you at the end of the video. Don't miss it. Before getting to the first story, I will spoil you a bit of its content. Imagine this. You've been dating someone for a while and things are going great. But then, when you introduce them to your family, things get awkward fast. A close relative's behavior is making your significant other feel uncomfortable, and it forces you to make a tough decision. Did you stand by your partner or cause a scene? Was it the right call? Or did you overreact? We're going to dive into this story and see how it all unfolds. Let me know in the comments what you would have done in this situation. Was there a better way to handle it? Hit that like button and let's get started. I feel uncomfortable with my sister because she can flirt with anyone, including my girlfriend. My 20 male and my sister Kylie, 21 female, not her real name, is a very open and flirty person. She's never put a label on her sexuality, but she has said she's attracted to everyone. Ever since we were in high school, she'd often flirt with girls I was interested in. She'd also flirt with my friends when they'd come over to hang out. Sometimes Kylie would even come into my room without knocking just to talk to them. It was very uncomfortable, and some of my friends even stopped coming over to my house because of it. This made me angry, and I told our parents, 47 male and 43 female, but they'd always say I'm being homophobic and to leave her alone, so she'd always get away with it. A few months after she graduated, she moved out of the house, and I haven't had to deal with her flirting with my friends anymore. 7 months ago, I met my now girlfriend, Bella, 19 female, and we hit it off. We've been together for a little over 4 months. One thing to note about Bella is that she's really shy, so she's never voiced any concerns until after the fact. Well, I wanted her to meet my parents, so we set up a quick dinner at a nice restaurant on Tuesday night. Without even telling me, my parents invited Kylie, who was almost 30 minutes late. For the better part of the dinner, she would constantly flirt with my girlfriend. She'd give Bella compliments about her clothing, body, and facial features, and even offer her number multiple times. My parents would just laugh along with her antics, saying it's just how she normally is. But I could see Bella was uncomfortable, so I paid my side of the bill and took her home. When we got to her house, I asked if I could spend the night, and she said yes. And that's where I've been for the past few days. My parents and Kylie have been blowing up my phone and calling me all sorts of names, which has me thinking I was in the wrong. I haven't answered any of my sister's messages, but I told my mom where I am. When I asked Bella about it, she said the compliments were nice at first, but she got uncomfortable. So, am I the a-hole for making a big deal out of my sister flirting with my girlfriend? Well, it's crazy how OP's sister would constantly flirt with his girlfriend, and even crazier how his parents brushed it off. Definitely, he wasn't the jerk here. Standing up for the relationship and protecting Bella was totally the right move. It's crucial to establish boundaries and make it clear that respect and consent are non-negotiable, regardless of familial relationships. Do you think the OP was justified in leaving the dinner? Or do you believe there could have been a better approach to addressing the situation with his sister and parents? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's dive deeper into this intriguing family dilemma. Here's what top commenters had to say. A Reddit user with a strong opinion. Not the a-hole. Your sister is a creep, plain and simple. And it's awful that your parents are enabling this and saying you're homophobic for calling her out and trying to protect your girlfriend. As someone in the LGBT community, it terrifies me how often others in the community get away with it. Calling out someone's harassment towards the same sex is not homophobia. Another says, not the a-hole. Your sister is disrespecting your relationship, you and your girlfriend. Your parents just enable her behavior. How does she not realize she's making people uncomfortable, and what kind of sibling flirts with their brother's partner? Shaking my head. Another user offered a different view. Would your parents think it was so cute and harmless if you flirted with Kylie's dates? I bet not. They need to rethink their position on their lecherous daughter. Her sexuality has nothing to do with it. Not the a-hole. A Reddit user offered advice. Not the a-hole you need to have a serious conversation about your sister and her lack of boundaries or respect. Another commented, not the a-hole. Your parents and your sister are a-holes. Using homophobia to justify her childish behavior is so wrong and manipulating. Some people just don't have boundaries. Another member chimed in, not the a-hole. Your sister displayed creepy behavior traits. It's one thing to flirt and be open, but being flirty with your girlfriend, to the point of making her uncomfortable, is red flag behavior right there. Not just your sister, but your parents are a-holes as well, for not stopping your sister's advances and for calling you rude and entitled. If I were you, I would have no contact with your sister, and if need be, your parents too. After the strangest situation and unfinished things with his parents, OP came back with the first update. Thank you so much to everyone who commented, since there's a lot of you in such a short time. Any advice given is greatly appreciated, even if I can't reply to them all. I'm going to message my parents later tonight and let them know I'll be going no contact with them until both of them and my sister apologize to my girlfriend. I'll also be mentioning how Kylie's behavior is sexual harassment and that they're enabling her. Whether they apologize or not is up to them, but I refuse to let my girlfriend go without one. Again, I would like to thank you all. Few days passed and OP posted another update to satisfied people curious. Sorry this update took a few days. I'm still reeling from everything that happened. First of all, I want to thank all the people who left comments and judgments. I won't say much, as I'm sure you all want to know what happened. It's a lot. I'm still disgusted and don't know how to feel about all this. Friday night, I messaged my mom and dad to let them know I wouldn't be conversing with them unless Bella was given an apology. Up to this point, that still hasn't been received, and I don't think it ever will. I also let them know I'd be stopping by on Saturday to pick up my things from the house. Well, Saturday morning I go over to the house and bring my girlfriend's dad, who we'll call Carl, to help me. Sitting on the porch is my sister, who tells me immediately she wants to talk. Anyways, we go inside and sit down, which is when she says she has to tell me something without me freaking out. Basically, in a much dimmed-down version, my sister tells me she has had feelings for me since high school, which is when I started going to the gym and slimming out a lot more. She said the main reason she flirted with all my friends was because she wanted to divert her attraction somewhere else. According to her, this is also the reason she moved out so quickly, because she couldn't stand being around me and knowing she couldn't have me. I left. I didn't get any of my stuff, and honestly, I don't know if I'll go back to get it. I blocked my sister on everything as soon as I got back to my girlfriend's house, and my mom kept messaging me, telling me to apologize for walking out again. I don't know how to feel. I'm disgusted. I feel like throwing up all the time, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get up and go to work tomorrow, like everything's normal. I haven't told my girlfriend or her dad yet, and I don't know if I'm going to. I have no idea if my mom or dad knows, but even thinking about it makes my head hurt. This is so much worse than I thought it was. What the f***? I know a lot of people might start commenting about how this is fake, and I don't care. I wish it was. Our mind got exploded after that update, so let's see what else can surprise us in this one. So it's been a week. I'm not sure how many people are going to see this, but whoever does, hi. After my last post, I didn't answer many comments because I was still going through the motions of what was said. I wanted to get a quick update out last week, but things got in the way, which led us to here. Last Tuesday, I messaged my parents telling them everything my sister had told me. It wasn't until Thursday I got a reply where they called me all sorts of names. They said I was perverted, a liar, a man-child, etc. However, after messaging back and forth with them for a while, it came out on my mom's side that my sister confirmed my story and wanted me to say it was false because neither of them wanted to believe it. It's safe to say I have no intention of talking to either of them for a long time. I told my girlfriend everything on Tuesday as well. She was a lot more supportive than I initially thought, so that worked out pretty well. On Friday, we told her father and we started looking for apartments to move in together. As for all my things back at my parents' house, my girlfriend's dad and a few of my friends went to pick up my stuff without me. I gave them a list of all the necessary things. My friends don't know why I moved out, but just that it was serious and not to ask, which leads us to today. I know a few people on my update post commented about this being fake, and as much as I wish it wasn't, this is the hell I'm living in. Over the past week, I've been looking back at my sister and I's relationship and realized a lot of stuff that isn't normal. I'd give examples, but I just want this to be over with. Thanks for the support, and this'll probably be the last update. This update is quite the saga. We thought things were bad after the dinner, but then Kylie's confession dropped a whole bomb. Seriously, who has feelings for their sibling like that? OP's decision to prioritize his girlfriend's comfort and his emotional well-being by cutting off contact with his family is understandable given the circumstances. What are your thoughts on this latest twist? Share your insights in the comments below. Let's continue to the next story. Birthday plans gone wrong. Next, we'll hear a story from a woman who turned 40 and had a special dinner planned with her husband and family. But a last-minute car project throws a wrench in the evening. Did she make the right call by leaving without him? Let's hear the details and see if she's the a-hole in this situation. I leave my husband alone because he wasn't ready on time for my birthday. It was my female 40th birthday a few days ago, and we had a reservation for a table at a nice restaurant for 7 p.m. It takes about 20 minutes to drive to the restaurant, so I plan to leave the house at 6:30 p.m. to build in time for traffic and picking up my father. My husband, 43 male, had decided to do a bit of work on his car about half an hour before we needed to leave. At 6:30, when the kids and I were waiting by the door, he was still doing it. He hadn't changed and hadn't showered. I told him to quickly get ready, but it got to 6:50, and he still wasn't ready yet, so I decided to just leave without him. He has a habit of always running late when we go out, and he is always the last one to be ready. Normally I can tolerate it since it only sets things back by 10 minutes at the most, but my birthday dinner was important to me, and I had been looking forward to it for weeks. Making us wait for 20 minutes was taking the mick, so I yelled out that we were leaving and left because I didn't want to lose the table since we would have arrived about 7:20. I called the restaurant to let them know we would be late, and we luckily still had our table. But my husband didn't show up at the restaurant, and when we got home, he was mad at me. I told him that I was tired of him not respecting my time and always making people wait for him, and that he could have made his way to the restaurant. My father agreed with my decision to leave without him, but my kids were a little upset that he wasn't there to have dinner with us. So, am I the a-hole? It's understandable why OP is upset. Birthdays are important, and her husband's history of running late can feel inconsiderate. However, the husband might have had a good reason for being late, like the car work taking longer than expected. Without more details, it's hard to say who's right. This seems like a communication issue. Before we provide OP's major updates about her history with her husband, let's take a look at some of the top responses. A Redditor commented, "Not the a-hole. You were already late when you left. If you waited any longer, you wouldn't have a table, and thus no birthday party. When you got home, you should have torn him a new one for deliberately trying to sabotage your birthday party. Put him on the defensive, where he should be for his behavior. Though, when your husband decided to do some work on his car, you should have said, 'No, you're not doing that. You're going upstairs and getting ready to leave with us.' This was a predictable problem. In general, you should stop tolerating his lateness. When you do that, it gets worse, not better. The husband used to be on time. OP was a stay-at-home mom, and this started when she went back to work. The husband is still never late to work or to any of his events. My conclusion: this behavior is not related to ADHD or anything similar. This lateness is deliberate enemy action." Another viewer gave input, "Not the a-hole. Tell him clearly that from now on, you are going to tell him when you plan to leave. And you don't care what he's doing at that point, because if he isn't ready to leave, you are leaving without him. And then do exactly that. And if he gets upset, tell him that he was well aware of what was going to happen. And then the next time the two of you plan to go anywhere, tell him exactly when he needs to be ready, and that you are going to leave at that time. And then whether he's ready or not, leave. After a few experiences like that, he is sure to catch on that you mean what you say. Manage your time." Another member chimed in, "Not the a-hole. He made his usual power play to make everyone wait for him on your birthday. Rather than lightening your load getting the family ready, he left all that for you to do. He didn't have free time to putter with the car, yet he used that as his excuse to make yet another event all about him. When you went on ahead, he pouted and waited to attack you when you got home. The whole thing was his creating frustration and delay for you. Then, he had to steal any joy you got from your birthday celebration by unloading his anger that you didn't let him steal more of everyone's time as soon as you got home. He sounds abusive. Controlling events by frustrating others. Punishing your bit of autonomy and valuing your event by refusing to participate, then attacking at home. Now, let's take a look at OP's first update about her husband. "It upset me, but I kept it inside because of the kids. I suppose it wasn't a huge surprise, but I've come to terms with it since then. I talked to my dad about a bit which helped. I was a stay-at-home mom until a few years ago. He changed when I went back to work, although I don't understand how that would affect his time management unless there's a different reason for him being late. It's normally things like he hasn't gotten changed or found his keys by the time I want to leave. There was a time a few weeks ago when he decided to walk the dog and wasn't home in time. The kids are 13 and 11, so they can get ready by themselves, although the youngest needs help with tying his shoelaces. However, I have to make sure the alarm is on, the doors are locked, the dog is fed and shut in his room, and get ready myself. It's a pattern regarding family plans. He's on time for work, and his plans are like meeting his friends. Up until a few years ago, though, he was normally on time for everything. By the way, how does it work when he has an important event to go to? Is he somehow magically able to figure out how to get out of the door on time when it's an event that is important to him? An interesting thought came from a Reddit user. Not the a-hole. Not only not the a-hole, but my hero. Your husband was disrespectful to not keep an eye on the time to attend a 40th birthday party for his wife that other people would be attending. I don't know how you put up with it. I would make it a habit to remind him half an hour before you have to leave and tell him we are leaving at the exact time whether you're ready or not. Because who has time for this crap? And please teach your children that being late is being rude. It shows a total lack of respect for the other person's time. It causes all kinds of anxiety throughout your life if you are unable to. This situation seems to be causing some underlying tension. OP is frustrated by her husband's tardiness, especially for family events like her birthday dinner. While she mentioned keeping it together for the kids, it's understandable that it would dampen the mood. The detail about him being on time for work and personal plans is interesting. It suggests the lateness might not be intentional, but specific to family outings. Now, OP's second update. I've brought it up multiple times before, but nothing has changed. I do admit that I can be a pushover when it comes to waiting for him, but I'm sick of having to put other things on hold to check if he is ready and being late for family plans. He was late for my mother's funeral last year, and after this birthday incident, I've decided not to give him any more leeway and start standing up for myself. His being late for things only really started a few years ago, and it's rarely this bad. Normally, we only have to wait for 10 minutes max, so it was something I could live with. I don't think he has ADHD. He was on time for things until a few years ago, with the occasional exception, and he is on time for work and his plans that don't include the family. My husband likes my dad, but the feeling isn't mutual. My husband likes the restaurant. We went there for his birthday too, which he wasn't late for. Yes, the kids were upset because my husband wasn't ready, and because I was stressed. They thought he didn't want to spend any time with us. They have personally been let down by him when it comes to things like him picking them up from a friend's house. A recurring issue causing significant frustration. It's clear you've tried addressing it previously, but his tardiness continues, especially for family events. While you acknowledge sometimes being a pushover when it comes to waiting, you're understandably fed up with the constant delays and feeling like family plans take a backseat. The detail about his punctuality for work and personal plans compared to family outings is crucial. It suggests the lateness might be specific to family situations. All right, everyone. That's all we have for this story today. It's a situation many couples can relate to, dealing with tardiness and its impact on family time. There's some frustration on both sides, and it's clear communication is key to finding a solution. While the husband was upset, the wife's decision sparked a conversation about his behavior and its impact on the family. The update reveals this pattern of lateness only emerged in recent years, specifically for family events. It raises questions about potential causes and the need for a solution to ensure everyone feels valued and respected. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Did the wife handle this situation well? What advice would you give to this couple? Okay, now we move on to today's final story. In this story, the OP is facing a difficult decision in their relationship. They've been engaged for a while and recently encountered some communication challenges around attending events. Their perspective feels unheard, leading to frustration and a sense of being unprioritized. We'll dive into the details to understand both sides and offer some potential solutions. Is open communication the key, or are these issues indicative of deeper problems? Let us know what advice you would give. My fiancé often cancels important plans, last minute, and I'm really worried about our marriage's future. I, 28 female, and my fiancé, 26 female, disagreed the other day. For Christmas, we got 4 tickets to a stand-up show, so we invited 2 of our friends to come along, made plans, and booked a restaurant before the show. It is now less than 2 weeks until the show, and my fiancé told me that she can no longer go since she's playing a football match that evening. I got upset since it was so close to the date, and I don't have other friends that go well with the one we invited. I said it felt like she wasn't prioritizing me, as this had been planned for 4 months. She got angry at me for being upset and said I didn't understand, and then started saying some hurtful things. I decided to let it go. Yesterday we had dinner at her parents' house, and I asked her about an upcoming event for my work, also less than a month away. She told me that she wasn't going to go to that, as her cousin had invited her to see their new baby and spend the night. I again got upset and told her she had already said she was going to go and that I had asked to add her to the invitation list. She said that she couldn't go another day to her cousin's as she had work and made it out as I was making a big deal out of it. When I kept arguing and said it might make me look bad at work with such short notice, she said something along the lines of, "Fine, I guess I just won't go see my cousin then." I am feeling defeated, and she has been cranky with me since. I just feel like it is childish that she won't just talk to me. What broke the camel's back was how she has been short and snappy with me, and the 4-year-old boy we fostered for a weekend a month. She locked herself away as I bathed him, watched a movie, and did bedtime. I feel like if she can act like this, not only to me but also ignore a young child, what does that mean for possible children in our future? Please give me some advice. I'm not sure what to do. I have asked her to talk to a professional, but she doesn't want to. Am I the a-hole for considering ending this relationship? This situation sounds pretty tough. It seems like there's a bit of a disconnect between OPs and their fiancé. It sounds like OP feels like her partner isn't prioritizing them, and that can be a real blow in a relationship. On the other hand, the fiancé might have valid reasons for needing to miss these events, like family obligations or unexpected work stuff. The tricky part is when emotions run high. It's understandable to feel hurt or unheard, but getting defensive can make it even harder to communicate. The key here might be for them to find a way to talk things through calmly. Have they been able to work through disagreements well in the past? Are they both open to compromise? Ultimately, the decision about the relationship is a personal one. This situation might be a bump in the road, or it could be a sign of deeper issues. By considering how they've handled communication in the past and their willingness to work on things together, OP can hopefully gain some clarity on what path to take. Here are the top-rated comments from readers in response to the OP's post. A Redditor commented, "Not the a-hole, mate. Get out early. It seems like your fiancé consistently demonstrates prioritizing her wants over commitments she's made with you. She's fine canceling on you to do the things she thinks are more important, and it's only going to get worse after marriage." Another viewer gave input. "Not just not prioritizing you, but then not communicating that her plans have changed until you bring it up. As someone who has been married for almost 40 years, this is a huge red flag." Another question was raised. "Not the a-hole, you already know what you need to do. If she is going to treat an innocent child that way, why would you want to be with her?" Another comment contributed, "Not the a-hole. It seems like you're being very reasonable here. In a relationship, good communication and understanding are key, and it appears that your fiancé is not showing you the respect or consideration you deserve. Canceling plans last minute and not taking into account your feelings is not a fair way to treat a partner. It's not just about the canceled plans, but her overall attitude and lack of communication that seems to be the issue. You're in a long-term commitment, and it's important to feel heard and valued in such a relationship. Her behavior towards the foster child is also concerning. This could indeed be indicative of how she might behave around potential future children. It's a tough situation to be in, but remember, you deserve to be in a relationship where you feel valued and respected. If you've tried communicating and she's unwilling to change or seek professional help, then it might be best for you to reconsider the relationship. Remember, it's not just about the relationship's duration, but also about its quality. It's okay to prioritize your happiness and well-being. You're not wrong for considering your future happiness. This Reddit user brings up a good point. Not the a-hole. If your girlfriend has been good to you for most of the past 6 years and has only recently started to be inconsiderate, try to have a serious conversation with her and ask her if she wants to break up. If she says no, this should lead to a conversation where you can tell her how you feel and why, and she can explain why she's been acting differently towards you lately. If, on the other hand, she says that she does want to break up, that will be the end of that, and you can both move on. A user expressed empathy. "Very sorry that you are in this situation, but what jumps out to me is she is seeing someone else and does not want to spend any more time with you than she has to. Hope I am wrong, but when I read what you wrote and the words you used, it was the only thing that made sense to me for her change of behavior. If you know someone who might be struggling with a similar situation, consider sharing this video and subscribing for more advice. You never know who you might help. See you all next time. Take care."